this is, I was dancing around this a little bit when I was talking about the quality of the refugees, but Samuel Martin says, are you of a mind as I am that Muslims should stay in their own countries and fix their own problems instead of becoming someone else's? Look, there's a guy I saw, he's terrific. I'm going to find it and I'm going to link to it. And he's the guy that does these expressions, not expressions, examples and lessons using gumballs. And he uses a gumball, 1 million people is one gumball, and so it's a brilliant analogy. It's absolutely brilliant. He's done it before. Basically, he was talking about the immigration problem. He said, here's how many people there are in the United States, and he puts in 300 gumballs for 300 million people. And then he says, here's how many we take a year, 1 million. He puts a drop of a gumball in there. And then he basically says, here's the number of people in the world that are, seeking asylum, and it's thousands and thousands of gumballs. And he says, even if we put 2 gumballs in or 3 every year, the thousands of gumballs add hundreds of gumballs every year because the birth rate. And he basically said, you cannot take column after column after column after column after column after column of 4 or 5 foot columns filled with gumballs and put them into a container this big. You can't do it. Brilliant. Brilliant. And so this is the question. If some people deserve asylum here, why doesn't everybody deserve asylum here? And if everybody deserves asylum here and everybody gets asylum here, then there is no here anymore. They simply bring the values that destroyed their countries here, and they destroy this country in much the same way that Californians have ruined the economy of California with their liberal policies. And so they're seduced by the low tax rates and the business opportunities in Texas. So they go to Texas, and the first thing they start doing is voting Texas into being California. They just soil their campfires wherever they go. So this is an interesting point. It's the point, really. We can't take every refugee in the world, even if we wanted to. It would not only destroy this country, we just can't do it. There's just physically not possible. So, what do we do about this? We have created a paradise on earth because for almost 250 years now, we have done the hard things all the time. We get up and we go to work. We've built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We pay for the most powerful and amazing military in the history of the world. And we genuinely, we don't have to put bumper stickers out there, we genuinely tolerate each other. One of the things I miss most, actually, is, during World War II, these stories were true. You see them in the movies. But these guys would be in a unit in Germany, let's say, and they would refer to themselves, oh, yeah, you're a WAP, you're a MIC, you're a Dago, you're a SPIC, you're a this, you're that. And it was done out of love and affection. These guys were brothers in arms, and they understood that the differences were actually something to joke about because they were trivial. That is the hard work of making America. It's not just going overseas and fighting and dying. It's getting up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning and going to work, and saving money and hoping your kids have a better life than you did, and putting up with people you don't like. And it's not tolerance, it's not an expression, it's what we do every day. There's not a nation on the earth that's not represented here, and if you make the decision to become America, it works great. Multiculturalism is a catastrophic failure. The melting pot is the greatest success in the history of the world. So the question then is, we built this, and we earn it. We not just earned it, we earn it every day. We go to work, and we get along with people who are different than us, and we make friends with them, or we don't. And people who we absolutely hate and despise politically, we can be sitting next to at a Gator game because he's a Gator, I'm a Gator, we're playing Florida State. I don't care if this guy's half of my friends I watch football with them, not half. Who am I kidding? 90% of them are all giant liberals. We don't talk politics, we talk Gators. We're gonna pound the daylights out of Florida State, I hope. And see what I mean? It's like, it works. So the question is, if we paid for this in blood and sweat over 250 years, what entitles somebody else to simply come in and get the benefits if they're not willing to do it on their own at home? Where are the patriots? Where are the patriots in these countries? Where are they? And if they're not there, and they're not, where are the people that are ready to fight and die for a revolution, for freedom, to get the things that we have? It's not a mystery, It's not like these documents that make this country work are locked in a vault someplace that are only seen by a priest, once a year. It's not the case. Any country in the world can figure out how to do this. We know what works. We know what works, and we show everybody what works every day. And the exportation of capitalism and the free market, American values and American culture has lifted the rest of the world out of poverty. India used to be in the Stone Age, and so did China, and American money got them out of it. So the question is, we keep talking about how we owe these people refuge, but what do they owe themselves? What have they done to earn it? Where are the people fighting for a better life in these countries? I don't see them anywhere. It's not true. I take it back. I saw it in Iran in 2009 with that movement where they were ready to topple the mullahs, and all they needed was just the kind of support that Reagan gave to the people behind the Iron Curtain, as the psychological support saying, we're on your side, you're going to win. And this president simply would not do it. He let those mullahs execute these people and suppress that green rebellion in Iran, and that's another message that was sent to the rest of the moderates in the world. That is the greatest foreign policy failure of the century so far, and maybe of the last 50 years since World War II. We could have overthrown the worst regime in the world without us doing anything other than saying we're on your side. But would he do it? No. Why? We know why. So the Iranians were ready to fight for their freedom, and it's not even physical support. I'm not even talking about sending in troops or even airstrikes. I'm saying moral support. It's the reason the Soviet Union fell and the Eastern Bloc fell was because we had radio-free Europe, and Reagan would come in after Carter. Oh, we're going to have to get along with them. We have to accept the fact that the communists will be here forever. And Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, and Pope John Paul II said this is an evil system, and we can beat it. And when people heard somebody say that, powerful people say that, they beat it. All they needed was the moral support. They don't get anything. They don't get anything from this president. Nothing. So, why don't they fix their own countries? They have a moral obligation to do it. We should help them when they're trying to. And when I say help them, I mean help them in ways that are, aid, weapons maybe. I don't mean we have to go in there and fix every single country. We've already figured out that's not really going to work. So, there you go. Yes, why don't you, instead of coming here, why don't you fight for freedom in your own country? Well, I might get killed doing that. And how many people have we lost for freedom? How many people did we lose in the revolution? How many people did we lose in the Civil War? How many people do we lose in Iraq? How many people have we lost fighting for other people's freedom? And they're not ready to fight for their own? We have a moral obligation to people to provide them with the benefits of freedom and hard work when they do not fight for their own freedom or their own hard work? How does that work? I don't understand. I don't understand how we owe them. If you really want to live a better life in Syria, why don't you? Now, with this said, I just caught myself here. We could have backed these people, but once again, Obama will not. He will not do it. He will not do it. We give him partial support, then we pull the support, and so on. But frankly, you have an obligation to improve your own life. It's not my obligation to improve your life for you, and it's not my obligation to invite you in, not only to take the fruits of all the work and blood that we've spent, but to also have you come in determined to destroy it, determined to change it, determined to turn it into what you're running away from. And that's not just true for these Islamic immigrants. It's also true for Mexican immigrants. I've been in Los Angeles for half my life now. The Mexicans I meet here are the nicest, most wonderful, warm, hard-working, friendly people I've ever met. I love them. I think they're absolutely terrific. But if you are coming to America to become a new person and give up your Mexican citizenship, stand in line, do the right thing, then welcome, brother. You're as welcome here as I am. But when huge numbers of people are here, not for the country, but for whatever they can take out of the country and then send back home, and their alliance, their heart is with the country they came from, that's a problem. That's a real problem.